My guest today is Greg Bibb. He runs the Dallas Wings, and the Wings have brought in some talent this year and has seen some players develop. And what I was curious to talk to him about was sort of where this franchise is going and some of the developments that have probably made you excited about it. And I thought I might start with Arike Ogunbowale, your first-round draft pick this year, who has really taken off. I'm thinking back to the draft. What did you guys see when you thought, okay, with our 5th overall pick, this is how we want to use it?
So we've had a lot of luck in recent years with our draft. Allisha Gray was the Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. Arike should be the Rookie of the Year this year. If not, she will certainly be an all-rookie selection. So she'll be the 5th all-rookie selection in the last 4 drafts. So we've had nice productivity in the draft process. And I think one of those reasons is, A, we do the work. And there's no substitute for getting out and seeing games and meeting with people and evaluating talent. But B, we do it in a collaborative way, and we come at it from that approach. And I'm a big believer in multiple perspectives and diversification of thought. And that served us well in the draft process. And full disclosure here, when we were going through the draft process this year, we all had Arike high on our boards, but Coach Agler was the one who was really on the Arike Ogunbowale bus, if you will, and pushing for her. And, you know, the way the draft fell to us at 5, it really was not a hard decision at all when she was left to us at pick 5. It was a no-brainer by that point. But if the draft would have gone another couple different ways, who knows the conversation we would have had. We all have loved Arike in college. Obviously, she's known for what she did in the Final Fours, but if you spend time watching her play those games that no one sees, it's pretty much the same. The best thing about her is her confidence. She has a lot of it, and it serves her well, and obviously you have to have the talent to go along with that confidence, but she is a big game, big moment player. She wants the ball in her hand when the game is on the line. And a lot of players say that, but far fewer actually are that. And she is that through and through. And we had high hopes for her coming into this season, but obviously she's exceeded those expectations. As I often say, she has gone from a good rookie to a great rookie to now she's on the realm of historic rookie in terms of the numbers she's putting up. We have not seen from rookies for 10 or 15 years, and I can count on one hand the number of rookies in the history of the league that have comparable freshman campaigns. So tremendous first season for Arike Ogunbowale.
Well, she's already set a Wings franchise record for the number of 20-point games in a season. She's really obviously a key part of this group moving forward. You guys also have some other potential dynamic talent coming to play. And so one of the issues you guys had this year was injuries. I think about Azurá Stevens, Taylor Hill, Skylar Diggins-Smith, who wasn't hurt, but she had a pregnancy, and then Moriah Jefferson. That's, I think, 14 games you got out of 4 top 6 picks from previous drafts. What makes you excited about thinking about potentially bringing those players back next year to pair with Arike?
Sure. It's been a perfect storm in terms of circumstance around injury and other things that have prevented not only a great number of players, but really significant impact players from being able to help us win this year. The silver lining in that is it has allowed other players to step up and elevate their game. So when we look to the future, and I'm not talking 2-3 years down the road, I'm talking next year down the road, you get the bulk of that back, plus you have this group that really is ahead of time and process now because of what they've had to deal with this year. And the thought becomes exciting rather quickly in terms of what we can be and how quickly we can be there. And of course, you add to that equation a top 4 lottery pick, cross your fingers, maybe the 1st or 2nd pick in the draft, and you're going to add another really good young player. Now we're talented, we're young, we're attractive from a salary cap perspective, and while all things are cyclical in sports and nothing is forever, relative to this world, we can keep this group together for a long time. So I'm excited about the future of this team, and not just way down the road, right down the road.
So one of Greg's jobs, of course, is to make sure that season tickets get sold and things like that, and having an exciting team helps. I think about a player like Moriah Jefferson, who can really push the ball up the floor. Skylar Diggins-Smith can do the same thing. Certainly we've seen Arike Ogunbowale do that. You've got some really athletic bigs. Isabel Harrison runs the floor very well. What kind of team might we see next year?
So if you look at my history in terms of the type of teams I like to build, I like size and I like athleticism. It's great if you can shoot the basketball too. Sometimes we get that, sometimes we don't. But really, if someone said, hey, what is the calling card of a Greg Bibb built basketball team? It's size and athleticism. And if you look at our roster right now, we have both of those things in spades. And Isabel Harrison coming in the deal with Las Vegas is a big part of that. Christina Nigwe, who we recently acquired, really athletic, big. Azure Stevens, when healthy, at 6'6", can handle the ball. She's kind of a WNBA version of a Kevin Durant for the NBA fans out there. Obviously, Skylar is an elite athlete. Arike Ogunbowale at really 5'8", is generous to do what she can do with the basketball, elite athlete. So we've really tried to build this team that goes out, competes, is athletic, rebounds the basketball, works hard. So even if you beat us, you knew you played us. And I think if you've read the comments this year, even with 9, 10, whatever number of wins we end up with for the year, that's been a lot of the feedback from the opposition. We knew they were going to come at us hard. We knew they weren't going to quit. We knew they were going to compete. And that makes me feel good about what we're building and makes me feel reassured that we're heading in the right direction.
One more player I'll ask Greg about that certainly fits the mold of what you're talking about, and that I think the organization can probably take pride in bringing in, is Kayla Thornton. She definitely fits into the mode of what you're wanting. How did you guys figure out this might be somebody that could develop?
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Kayla was a player that had been in and out of the league a couple of times right after her UTEP collegiate career ended. And I was approached about providing her a tryout actually on the Sunday morning of the Final Four here a few years ago. And it was one of those moments where a lot happens on a Saturday night at Final Four, and 9 or 8, 10 o'clock a.m. workout back in Arlington really didn't appeal to me. But we had the workout, and from about the third dribble of the basketball, I was glad I came to the workout. And we signed her. She was scheduled to go from us to see a number of other teams. It just so happened we're in Dallas. The Final Four is here. She's from UTEP, so it made sense for her to come here first. We got lucky. We signed her that day before she could go anywhere else, thinking that this is a player that should be in the league and can contribute. She came in. She started to contribute. She gained more and more minutes. She became a big part of our rotation. She continued to improve. She became a starter. She continued to improve. And for my money, she's the defensive player of the year in the WNBA this year. She can guard 1 through 4, 1 through 5 in a pinch, but really 1 through 4. You'll see her on some of the best guards in the country, and you'll see her against some of the best forwards in the league. And she does effective jobs on both. The last time I looked at the numbers, her main assignment was scoring 22-23% less per game against her than against the rest of the league. And that's probably the most telling stat about what she does. On top of that, she's the heart and soul of our team. When she goes out there and gets a big stop, it elevates everyone else's play. It pulls everyone else up. Her blue-collar mentality and her work ethic, everyone can see that, and they feed off of it. And she's become our leader by example. First in the gym, last out of the gym, takes care of her body, gets better every year. So now she's not just that player that maybe can be here or that player that can play some minutes or even that player that can start. She's an elite player on an all-league level. And very rarely do you see a player go from undrafted and follow that progression to where she is. So I can't say enough about Kayla Thornton. And on top of all that, because of all the folks who have missed games this year, she's become the captain of the team and the leader and taking on all the responsibility that comes along with it, especially with a team as young as ours. So tremendous player. We're super fortunate to have her with us. And I'm happy that we're able to sign her to a long-term deal last year. She's going to be a part of our team for a long time.
If you think very highly of Kayla Thornton, you're not doing a very good job of hiding it, I'm just saying.
Probably vice president of the fan club. I think her dad's probably the president. I'm probably right there as a vice president.
Well, very good, very good. Well, you've got a lot of exciting pieces, and as you can tell, Greg's pretty excited about them. Next year, with a lottery pick, another first-round pick, could be very exciting with the people you guys could add. Should be really fun to be a part of and watch.
Come see us. Go Wings.
All right. With Greg Bibb for the Fort Worth Weekly, I'm Rush Olson.